name is Bradshaw. My name is Jeff Graves. I'm here representing Purple 3. I'm going to tell you about this Rube Goldberg machine that we made for you and your kids. Basically, we want to just go over the different sections. As of now, we can go over each one individually later in the video. So basically, we're starting out here. We've got a DC motor elevator right here. So this is basically bringing the balls up from this return track. We're going to bring them all the way up to our next section, which is the ramp section. So for your ramp section, we've got a few different adjustable design constraints here. We've got different tracks with different friction coefficients. You can slow and speed the ball up. Also have different exit angles for your balls. Now we've got 3 different holes here for the return to the next section, the pulley.
All right, we're rolling.
So for our 3 different holes in the ramp section, for the farthest and closest hole to the ramp, that will lead us to the return track, which will go straight back to the DC motor elevator. Now your goal here is to get in the middle hole here, and this will redirect into this basket here. Basically, your goal in this section is to raise this weight, which you can adjust, and dump out all the balls on this track, which will lead back to the DC motor elevator. So now we're going to go into the different components of the Rube Goldberg machine so we can see how you can interact with the different sections. All right, so before we insert this into the input shaft for the motor elevator section, we do want to make sure that our settings for the motor are correct. Now you have 2 different settings, like I said. You can go forward and reverse, so you're adjusting which way the shaft turns. You want to make sure that no matter what gear train you're using, you're rotating at a counterclockwise angle. So that means you're actually moving the grippers up rather than down. Moving them down will cause damage to this section. So as far as inputting this, we just want to connect this shaft with this one. It might take a little bit of adjustment, but I'm going to try here. So I'm going to rotate this. Now, we are fully connected to this system, and I'm going to start the elevator. As you can see, the grippers are going to start picking up balls, which will move them to the top in order to start them for the ramp section.
All right, we're going.
So moving on to the ramp section, after the pulley drops off the balls up here, it moves down. So the balls come down to your acceleration ramp right here and lead down to the launch ramps. These launch ramps can be changed very easily by just lifting up the ramp like so and putting in other ones. These ramps are from 40, 50, and 60 degree angles. You just have to make sure when you put the ramp back on that it slides right in between the 2 slots so that it fits into a nice smooth transition. For this part, the balls will be launched onto the target area, and the target hole is the middle hole right here. This hole will lead to the pulley and your ultimate goal of getting the pulley down and releasing all of the balls. So like we said before, the only way to get the balls into the pulley is by going through the middle hole. This goes down through the tube and into this side of our pulley. The other balls that go through the top and the smaller bottom holes will go down to this ramp and lead back to the DC motor through this channel. The kids can change any weight they want here inside this pulley, and they can decide or choose how many balls it will take for this pulley to retract down and release the balls back to the DC motor. Now this works by sliding down both sides of these bars and this backboard surface, and as soon as it gets past this, it releases and let the balls go down the channel. Once the balls have been dumped by this mechanism, it will not reset by itself, so that's the only part of the machine that needs to be reset and put right back into place. So now that we've gone over each section, we're going to talk about some maintenance issues that you might experience dealing with the Rube Goldberg machine and how to fix them. A very simple issue that you might have with the ramp section is all the balls consistently going to one side, and obviously they won't be able to go into the target hole that way. Most of the time, the problem is just a quick fix of the slanting of the ramp. If it slants one way or the other, it might go to the opposite sides of the hole that you want. Do the first one?
Yeah, sure.
Oh my gosh.
So we just wanted to give you a basic overview of how this Rube Goldberg machine works. We wanted to give your students a chance to mess with it, to experiment, just so they can get the best learning experience they can. Now, we went over the basics, just a few problems that you may encounter, some maintenance issues. Anything we haven't covered here will be referenced in the instruction manual, which will be provided to you.
So thank you, and we hope the best for you and your students using our machine, and hope it